Okay, welcome back to From Zip Code to Zip Code. The challenges New Yorkers face vary, but the vision for a better city remains the same, whether it's about safer streets, stronger schools, accessible mental health care, or cleaner communities. These aren't just plans, they're commitments rooted in real experience. Our next guest has decades of leadership experience in education, business, and community service, influencing policies designed to enhance the lives of all New Yorkers. So joining us to tell us more is one of the candidates for mayor of the city of New York, Dr. Selma Bartholomew. Thank you for joining us.
And thank you so much for having me, Gary. Hello to the Bronx and all of New York City. Yes, a woman named Selma will be the first woman mayor in New York City.
In New York
City's
City's
mine,
history.
and I'm claiming it. You know, we've had 110 men as mayors in New York City. It's time for change. It's time for real leadership.
Well, there you go. Explain what you see and why you thought this would be a good time to run for mayor. It's a very competitive race,
Yes.
and you just have to open any newspaper to find that out.
Well, I think everyone kind of sees the physical violence that's happening within our communities and the need for change as we talk about affordable housing and education. But I want to say to them that we are also dealing with passive violence, which really fuels the physical violence. So the nature of the culture in New York City needs to change. So for example, our streets are filthy. And so I've made a commitment in the first 100 days to clean up New York City streets and to give our parents and our children clean streets as they walk to school, as they come home. And these are the things that really fuel the anger and the frustrations that New Yorkers are feeling.
Explain how, just using that as an example, we'll talk about some other things as well, but we've got a huge sanitation department.
Yes.
We want to congratulate all our
Absolutely.
men and women that work for the sanitation department who do a great job. What do we need to do to clean the streets?
Well, first of all, we could clean the streets tomorrow because we have city council members, we have senators, and they have a budget. And so it's literally working in collaboration with your city council members and to say, you give X dollars, you give Y dollars, you put it together, you hire a business. We have so many people who want work and opportunities. And so we can use our budgets differently in order to create business opportunities and to create opportunities for those who want to work in the city of New York.
When you say business opportunities, I mean, the sanitation department is run by the city of
Yes.
New York. How do you mean business opportunities?
Well, you
in
can
that
have
realm?
sanitation as well as you can work with smaller businesses in order to help maintain it during the year. So we know sanitation has their days in terms of pickups, but we can work with our city council members and they can hire a nonprofit, they can hire a business, and that business can provide those services to be able to really maintain the clean streets as the year unfolds. And that's what's happening. Too much of the work is put on only one agency.
Yeah, many of the neighborhoods in New York have bids,
Yes.
business improvement
Yes.
districts, and they run some of their own sanitation programs. It would, I'm guessing,
Yes.
based on what you're saying, you fund those programs and then they can do better, things that the sanitation department can't do.
Absolutely. Let's do it together, working in collaboration with sanitation and with the organization. So we have a lot of isolated things. We need to now pull it together and really have a vision of improving the quality of a life in our city.
In your platform, there's a lot of talk about subways.
Yes.
Now, crime is down. The numbers are down in the
Yes.
subways. We understand, certainly anybody, me, you, or anybody else who
Yes.
rides the subways, we understand that there is fear out there. There are people who go through the trains and misbehave and do really
Absolutely.
bad things. How do we do that from what's been done, which was increasing police presence and those kinds of things?
Well, absolutely, I value the police department, but you will never have enough police department to cover all of the subway stops and all of the train stations. But don't we love the app Waze? So what I want to do is I want to pilot a program in a similar model. I want to have a team of what I'm calling Gray Birds in honor of Flacco. And if you are a member of the Gray Bird, I would like to give you an incentive of 1 year free transit ride. And what you're going to do is when you get on the subway, you just hit a button. Is it clean? Do you see any issues? As you ride the subways, if something is happening, if you see, for example, a pregnant woman who needs help, or a sick passenger, or someone in need of help in terms of mental illness, you just let us know. And the other special thing is no one will know that you're a gray bird. And so we don't want this person to intervene. We just want to be able to bridge the communication and the collaboration between everyday New Yorkers and our city.
And then, of course, on the receiving end, you'd need a pretty good-sized staff. I mean, you get people on the train starting to say what they don't like.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of messages.
Well, it's not everybody. I'm not asking everyone, but I'm just identifying a core group of New Yorkers.
Of gray birds is what you call them. How
Exactly. So it's not every New Yorker. It's just a core team. Individuals, we know when you get on and off the subway. We were in Lehman College. I knew exactly when I got on at 145th Street and I would take the train to Bedford Park. So we need to use our people and get people who want to buy into this idea of a cleaner and safer New York. We all want it, but we're not tapping into the talent and the individuals, and that's what I'm bringing, solutions that are community and also from everyday New Yorkers.
Let's bridge that to the mental health issue. There's
Yes.
been a lot of talk about involuntary taking people off the streets and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And many people say, well, they take them off the streets, and then guess what happens? They put them back on the
Yes.
streets, and they've really not been dealt with.
Okay.
How do we really take a look and put our arms around the very, very deep mental health crisis or issues we have in New York City?
I want to share my solution, but I also want to say to New Yorkers, I know that there's enough conversation around the congestion pricing. It turns out we have a congestion problem in the Bronx, and that Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx sees 25,000 patients a week. And so this cyclone of trauma triage says that we have a leadership problem as well. And so one of my solutions is to create a dignity and care board. And that board will help us now and will sit between the individual and the healthcare professionals, because what we often find is someone may make a recommendation for someone to have X number of treatments or whatever, and they don't show up. And what do you do with that person who has what I call a level 4 individual, who has been on the street and homeless and really needing more support, but not able to necessarily, advocate for themselves? And so a dignity and care board will sit in between the individual and the family and the community and the healthcare workers. And so really beginning to really bridge the relationships between all of the stakeholders in the city. Really building a village, Gary.
Let's talk about building a village. One of the things we need is quality education. In
Yes.
order to do that, what do you find that's not effective in our schools, and what do we need to improve education in the city of New York?
The challenges in our education is what I call the social reproduction of failure. That
Let's get that down, the social reproduction of failure, okay?
So how is it that generation after generation, we have a school system that is really taking away the confidence of our students, having such low expectations, and that they keep reproducing individuals who only, quote unquote, want working class jobs. And not that working class jobs is a bad thing, but in our city, the graduation rates of our community college is, for 4 years, 6 years, is only at about 30%. And so it says that overall, we're not really giving our students and our staff what they need to really raise the expectations. The other thing also is the money is going out to what I call the robber barons and the white collar criminals.
What money are we talking about?
The funding in education right now, in order to really improve schools, we're spending so much money on outside companies who are just pushing all of these programs, and really we're not creating spaces for our teachers to really develop the relationships and the content and the pedagogy that they need in order to improve our schools. And we're pushing a culture. When you talk to my teachers, it's data, and it's all about the test. We need to give our kids confidence, and so I've made a commitment to do art, to do music, to do STEAM. And also, I want to teach 1.5 million kids how to swim. That's how you build someone's confidence. That's how you get our children motivated. And to also win them back, Gary, from the weed that we are pushing on our kids and in our classrooms. We have to do better. We have to take better care of our kids, and we have to be able to create a village in our city.
You talked about affordable housing to
Yes.
start. That bridges into a whole other issue of the economy of the city, the fact that people who are working hard still can't pay their rent. Many of them are still food insecure. How do we change the economy not only through housing, but also through the general economy so people personally are doing better?
I want to see an investment in business hubs in the city. I am an entrepreneur, so I understand, even though we might have different agencies and organizations, that we need to make a commitment to fundamentally build businesses and give them the support that they need. You wear every hat, and sometimes people put stickers on those hats. Really giving them the support in terms of marketing. As I've talked to my young people, they said, Dr. B, why can't we create jobs and do a dual support center? A space where maybe they're serving as helping them with the calls, helping them with the marketing, helping them with the technology, as well as a space where people can come to and get support as well.
Certainly nobody could challenge your enthusiasm for
Yes.
doing this. This is a challenging competition. As we know,
Yes.
there are numerous other candidates. Got about 30 seconds. Give us the pitch for people who say, well, who is Dr. Selma Bartholomew and why should I vote for her?
I am Dr. Selma Bartholomew, and I stepped into this mayor's race because I am deeply concerned about New Yorkers and their children. And I bring 30 plus years of leadership experience. And I'm a mom. I'm not the politician, but I am passionate about this work, but I'm also talented. I'm Dr. Selma B. Let me help you, New York. Let me help you really change the culture of New York City.
Dr. Selma B., thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for joining
much.
us. Good luck through the campaign,
Thank you.
which is just getting started now,
Yes.
and we appreciate your time on Open.
Thank you.
For more information, you can visit the website at drselmabartholomew.com, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back more Open, of course, right after this.